been working in the garden somewhat. Again, you won't see anything, but I've been sorting and working and harvesting. We do have some freeze warnings the next couple nights here, so I've been working pretty hard on gathering the last of my harvest, and later I'll take you inside and show you what all I got. But oddly now, this does seem weird, but oddly the garden is producing now. Look at that mint. That's a low-cap mint bush now. That's like a bush. That's huge. And the garden is actually bearing fruit now. After all this time, remember I planted these in spring, well, late spring, but still. They're just producing fruit. These are the summer squash, and the zucchini are growing nicely right now and bearing fruit. I just harvested a few, and I'll show you inside what I've got. But look at that. These should have been dead by this time of year and done, and they're only just now producing. So it's been a very, very strange year with the garden this year. Now my tomatoes are doing pretty rough because they're one, I should have had them staked up, and that is my bad, I admit. But look at how bushy green that stuff is. So look at this. Look at how bushy green they are. They're only just now really growing. Finally. I have a problem though, is that mice are devouring my tomatoes as fast as they start to ripen. So the chickens have been eating well, and the mice are ripping into them. But I am getting food. See, the mice are, it's frustrating. If they would eat one and be done with it, but they nibble and destroy a mess of tomatoes and knock a mess of them off the vine. So the chickens have been eating well. There's another one off. I can eat that one. So I have been eating tomatoes, and oh, he did pretty much do a good job on that one though. But the mouse is doing well. He's very well fed on tomatoes, and so are the chickens. They're waiting. They're running around like, yes, more tomatoes. So anyway, they're bearing a lot of fruit right now, and they're really, really growing. There's some more over there that are really bushing out. It was a brutal, intensely hot year this year, and I think it really stunted the plants. So I am seeing a harvest 2 months late. So, although I did plant later, but anyway, they're coming. There they go. Been working on generators. I got a couple of them here. I'm trying to get one working. All right. So that's a different video for a different subject and a different day, but I just want to let you know what I've been working on here. I've got a whole mess of dead generators, and I even tried to buy one off a neighbor, but his generator had a bad carburetor as well. I mean, really, really bad. So I've got this one here, which is a Sears Craftsman 4200 watt, and you'll see that video on a separate, well, that'll be a separate video, but I'm working on the carburetor and hoping to get this generator running. This is the one that I had paid to be repaired last year because it was leaking out the carburetor and flooding heavily, and he gave it back to me and it was leaking and flooding heavily. So that was not cool, but that again is on a separate video. Anyway, I am been working on that for quite a bit the last couple of days here, trying to find a generator that works, and talking to people around the area. So I spent quite a few hours on that stuff. This one, you will see the video when it's done if I get it working, but again, that is totally separate from this video. I'm just giving you an overview of the week. Also, I'm working on firewood. I am working on trying to get a generator so I can cut these smaller ones, and I'm gathering up branches and stuff out of the forest and stacking them up in a pyramid fashion out in the woods, as a friend of mine advised. So that'll keep them, in case it rains or snows on them, they'll still be usable. So I'm gathering up all my firewood out of the forest, and speaking of which, I am burning firewood right now because we have just barely above freezing, and the tiny house on wheels is now comfy and cozy warm with the fruit of my labors, the firewood here. I've been going around and harvesting also my herbs. These guys are very pitiful. The basil is going to die. And again, that too is only just really starting to grow. It's funny. It was really a harsh year. So a lot of plants didn't make it. Here's a very interesting, I think that was a form of basil, and it's got beautiful red flowers coming. I can't wait to see that bloom. I think I'm going to protect them from the freeze tonight. It's not focusing on me here. Well, anyway, the color isn't right either on the camera. They're really vibrant red looking. So I forgot what this is. I think it was a form of basil. My chickens got rid of my identifying tag. But that's going to be pretty. My chamomile all died out. I don't think the soil was right for chamomile. All the trees keep growing back and I keep cutting them down. And I cut all my sweet leaf and harvested it. It's inside drying. And I hope that it'll continue growing because it also is doing well. Carnations are still growing happily. So those are a good all season or all summer plant. And I've got the mosquito plant bushed out really nice. I considering if I should dig it up and take it inside for the winter. Keep it up in the upstairs window of the tiny house on wheels. I'm not sure yet. And then the lemongrass. I'm going to wait till the last minute on that because I guess that what you have to do is dig it all up, which I hate to do, but it'll die if I don't. And that really grew nicely. So that's some good seasonings for your foods. It grew really well this year. Speaking of doing well, my creeping phlox spread out beautifully this year, and the mint really spread out, really bushed out. So I actually harvested a bunch. It might look thin in the middle there because I harvested a whole mess. And another thing, I've been dealing and stuff, I went to Tractor Supply while I was there for cat food, and they had mums, and they were 12 cents a piece, and the guy said, here, just you pay for the 5 you've got, and I'll take a whole mess more. So I had bought some previously, and I came back today and I got 5, and he gave me I think ended up with 10 more, or 10 total or something like that. Well, anyway, there's some mums. They still got life in them, so I've got to get them planted, and I'm thinking about spreading them out along the base of the fence. Will look quite pretty. So I've got to get to that. And I just watered them because they hadn't watered them in a few days. Some of them are doing very well still. And somebody suggested if you clip and deadhead them, clipping the dead flowers, they will still continue bearing flowers until the deep freeze. So I'll try it out. Well, there's some of my late season harvest. I've got some baby butternut squash and a baby melon. And I've got some different types of tomatoes. Some are quite large and nice. They're not very pretty because it is so late and the weather's bad. But and I should have had them off the ground. I realize that. So that one's going to be eaten right away. Look at these peppers. Beautiful looking peppers here. Nice peppers. And different sizes and types of tomatoes. Alright. Then I got some different zucchini and squash down in here. So doing alright, getting a little bit of food here. Now I lost a lot of my peppers to worms, and I don't know what it was. I've never seen worms eat peppers like that. But a couple of them had worms in them. So I got to check that. But yeah, half of my harvest went away to worms, but here's another hole from something. That's organic growing for you. You got to keep your eye on it or you'll lose your harvest. And it's a learning experience. You're not going to know everything overnight, and not the first year. You're going to learn, especially when you're in a new environment, like me living in New York. I grew up with vegetables, but there's different stuff here in New York. So, and different weather and everything. So, there's a little bit of my late garden harvest. So I am still harvesting food out of the garden. Hello everybody. Just finished for the evening. I've been working out here and picking at it with time. You will now notice that, except for the barbecue grill and a shovel and rake, which I still need for all these leaves, which keep falling and falling and falling and falling, I got everything out from around and under the truck camper. You might remember this was loaded and bulging outwards all the way around on both sides and all the way through. The only thing I got is some feed bags down there to keep them out of the rain. And my barbecue grill, keep it out of the rain. I am down to just a little tiny pile of garbage. That's it, everybody. That is all that's left. And actually, that little tiny pile of garbage starts here. It's just this little bit. What's under here is an antique plow that I'm not sure where it's going to go yet one day, but there's a really awesome, still functioning antique plow over there. So, just this little bit of garbage right here. That's it. That's it. It's all gone. It's all done. I even cleaned in front of the RV. I still have that little bit of pallet wood to go yet, and I'll take the summer kitchen down next time. I've got a little bit of scrap wood here and there, but I don't know if you noticed the difference, everybody, but there were pallets galore over here. Sorry for the light. Pretty much got a lot of stuff. You can see where it was damp on the ground here, how much stuff was over here. That's been there for all summer, all the pallets and construction material. I do have to put my fence back together, but that's after I sell the truck camper. But remember, this was piled out to here. This was all garbage and wood, everything loaded. Down to a little tiny bit of garbage left. That's it. That's it, everybody. Cleaned up in front of the tiny house on wheels over here. There's just a little bit of stuff. Right there is a little bit of wood left that I gotta finish making some more shelves and get that little bit of wood put away. But it's looking so much better. Cleaned right in front of the house as well. There's nothing here, nothing left. Nothing left at all in front of the tiny house on wheels. Soon I will be able to proudly and boldly walk in front of my house and on my property without embarrassment. Without all this stuff. Look at that clear, clean yard. Look at that, everybody. You haven't seen that in a while, have you? Nope. So I still got this wood pile here. This is my paneling for the tiny house on wheels. And it's pretty much dried out now, so now it's time to go out and start putting it behind the workshop, the wood tent. I'll have to get it on pallets, keep it off the ground. I'm going to have to put the pallets on cement blocks, keep it off the ground nicely, and then tarp the whole pile. So I think what I'll do is I'll build a pallet shelving unit for that, and keep it neatly out of the weather. That's it. So the day is coming to an end, everybody. That's it. Worked a lot out in the wood too, firewood. But I didn't record much. Seriously, I literally ran from point to point today. Literally. I worked really, really hard, but we got a lot done. Sorry there was no video, but I just didn't want to waste the time on that. I wanted to just get this all cleaned up. Soon that truck camper will be gone, and there'll be nothing but my car and the tiny house on wheels over here. That's it. That'll be it. Well, everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project, signing out.